Hello, Archaea here. I'm a little bit late with this video, but I wanted to take a little bit more time to kind of think about it, because this game is so polarizing. I feel like a lot of people just love to hate it, and a lot of people also just love it. I very rarely find anybody who's kind of in the middle on it, and I can say that it has become quite obnoxious. Like, I understand why everybody's so upset about Cyberpunk with all the stuff going on about it, but if I'm totally honest, I really loved the game. I thought it was great. Yes, there were some issues, but I personally really just loved the game. And so I'm very good at not shutting up. So I actually wrote down some notes here to keep myself organized so I don't repeat myself 10 million times. So this is going to be a spoiler-free game review. So let's carry on, shall we? So anyways, I want to start with the cons, because there were a lot. There were definitely a lot of cons in the game, but I don't think any of them were so bad that it destroyed the gameplay for me. Sometimes it was it kind of took me out of the immersion, but I'll get into that right now. So one thing that I think probably bothered me some of the most was that sometimes characters would talk, but their mouths wouldn't move. And that was frustrating because, sometimes for a sentence, the mouth would move, and then for the next 5 lines, there would be nothing at all, just words coming out of a face. But yeah, that kind of bothered me a little bit. Another one, the game crashed and I had to restart my computer. I had to restart my stream and everything. A little obnoxious, which is why if you see on my archive channel, I have 2 part 3s, I believe. Yeah, because it crashed. It crashed big time. But I didn't really deal with any major issues like that later on. I got a couple where the game kind of froze, but it wasn't so bad. Towards the end, there were definitely a few more freezing spots and a couple other glitches where, you'd end up somewhere and it wouldn't load you in properly, and then you die. It happened. I got a clip of it somewhere, but I won't show it here. Maybe we'll have a clip compilation video or something. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to see, you let me know. But yeah, so that kind of bothered me a little bit. Driving in the game was pretty obnoxious, but I think it's also partially because I don't usually drive in games. There's a first-person driving, which why? And then there's the third-person driving, which, once you get used to it, it's a little easier, but oh my goodness, the controls, horrible. Motorcycle, pretty good. Any car, not so good. Not very fun. And this next one is just a personal preference. I'm not really crazy about romance in games. I find it quite awkward and a little uncomfortable. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I still did the romance options because I wanted to see what was up, and also the chat was really into it. And Judy was just really cool. But it was a little awkward. Not gonna lie. Just, streaming on Twitch with these 2 characters in their underwear, rumping amok in their sheets. It was interesting for sure. Also, I feel like one of the romances felt kind of rushed and not, it felt inorganic. I don't know. The other person, well, River, I don't know. It just kind of seemed rushed. But either way, it was just awkward. Romance is always awkward for me in games. Yeah. So another thing that really kind of bothered me about the game was another glitch, of course, where music would layer over other music. So you'd be in one scenario, and then you would move to another area and another track of music would start playing, and you would think that, the original song would stop or transition properly into the next song. And And that usually happened. But sometimes it wouldn't. And sometimes it would layer multiple times, and I would hear the same song layered over another one, and the only way that I could stop it was to save and load back up the game again. And I did have to do that quite a bit to fix a lot of sounds, like clicking sounds that would be playing in like part of a menu. It would just keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going, and it would get really, really obnoxious. So that kind of sucked and was really annoying, because you don't want to pause to get out of the game and go back into the game, and you want to play the game, right? So that kind of sucks. And like just generally textures didn't load very quickly, especially for people. Once everything loaded, like it was a really good quality game. Like the graphics were pretty amazing, and I thought it was beautiful. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was good. But those were like the majority of the problems. I'm sure there were a couple others that I just didn't write down at the time, but just kind of like general glitchiness of the game. But it wasn't so bad that it completely destroyed my gaming experience. I still thoroughly enjoyed the game. So I'm gonna move on to the pros now, because it's a really good game, and I really do feel like people should at least give it a try. Mind you, I played on PC, so I don't know exactly how it ended up for PS4 and whatnot. I've heard it was atrocious, so I'm really glad I got it for PC. But anyways, so for the pros. I loved the characters involved. I thought that they all were very unique. They all seemed to have incredibly unique personalities. They all had their own motives. They had good things, they had bad things, and they were all very interesting. It wasn't like they were just multi-dimensional beings, it's just they were interesting multi-dimensional beings. And I liked that. And I liked that, like, if somebody dies, I won't say who, or, if somebody from the main story dies in the game, it's just, it hurts. Like, it feels like you really lost that person. And I don't know, maybe I'm just very emotional, but I got very attached to the characters, and the game broke my heart. And it was also just really a good game. It was a good game. I felt really connected. The gameplay mechanics were a lot of fun. I feel like they were pretty fluid when they worked properly. And just, I don't know, I feel like their just like shooting was pretty good. The quick hacking skill was really, really entertaining. You can do some heinous war crime stuff, and it's just such a fun experience. I think quick hacking is definitely my favorite way to go through the game. It's a little overpowered, but at the same time, like, this is the same thing in Skyrim too, whenever you maxed out anything. You know what I mean? Max out sneak, you could just walk, you could sneak right in front of someone, steal their whole line of potatoes and get the hell out, right? But it's hard. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be too hard to make a balanced game for it, but being a quick hacking legend like I am, it was pretty damn cool. It was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. The voice acting was also really, really solid in the game. I feel like they got really good voice actors for it. I played as the female V, so I experienced a lot of her voice. It was very, very expressive. Kind of brings me back memories of being like a theater kid. Slightly over the top in some places where I feel like it doesn't need to be, but like at the same time, very, 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 very solid voice acting from all the characters all around. They all fit their character. There was no, like, it was recorded really nicely, so it felt like it fit into that scenario. It didn't sound like it was just a recording of people. Like, it felt like the people were actually talking and really meaning what they were saying to each other. So it was very believable. I had a really good time with the voices in there. And the graphics were amazing in the game. Let's be real. The graphics were really good. They were really good. When I was running through, like, it obviously it's not completely photorealistic, but like sometimes it looked like it. And I imagine in 10 years it's gonna look like a PlayStation 2 game to me, but you know, still, it was a very, 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 very solid and beautiful game. I don't know, I really, it felt good going through the game. I liked it. And then I want to end off with the music. The music was stellar, especially those ending credits music. The ending credits music, sorry, English. It just really sticks in your head. It was so emotional and just, there's just such a, it's just so good. It is just so unbelievably good. And I've listened to the soundtrack multiple times over and over and over again, just like in my own spare time. And I don't know, I feel like the music in it was very good. And kind of, some of it gave off like Mick Gordon vibes, which I really like too because I'm obsessed with Mick Gordon. But honestly, I don't know, I thoroughly enjoyed the music in it. So, to bring it all together, here we are at the end of the video. I should probably give it a score. I honestly feel like I'm gonna give it like an 8 out of 10. It was an incredible game. I miss being in the world. It was very, 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 I don't know, if it was very beautiful and like there'd be, sorry, I'm carrying on into here again. One thing I forgot to say, I don't know how I want to edit it, so I'm just going to leave it like this. One thing that I did really like about the game too was that there was also a lot of open space where there wasn't necessarily something going on. Like, you didn't have to go to every single inch of the giant map, huge map. You didn't have to go to every single inch of that map to figure out every little bit of story. Like, sometimes there's a building that doesn't even have anything in it, but you can like go inside and look around and there's like nothing going on. Like, it's a big world, whether there's stuff happening or not. And I thought that that was very interesting. And then if I've got one con, or one pro, I'm gonna add another con. At the very beginning of the game, everything was very, 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 very overwhelming. Like, you get tossed into this world, and in the core part of the city, it was very overwhelming in the beginning because there would be something happening on every single block. So I guess, yeah, in the core of the city, a lot going on, which became fine eventually, especially once you started to whittle shit down. But there's also so much of the map where there's also nothing going on, which I think is a really cool balance. And I like that. Okay, now I'm done. Yes, 8 out of 10 would be what I give it. Not the perfect game. There were problems and whatnot, but the story was amazing. Better than I thought it would be. And just really, really lovable characters. And really hateable characters. And just, there's just so much going on. It's a really good game, in my opinion. I can't tell you how to feel about it. If you've played it and you also liked it, then that's awesome. If you didn't, let me know why in the comments below. Or even if you did like it and there's something I didn't mention here, because there's undoubtedly a lot that I did not include in here. A big patch just dropped recently, and so some of the problems I listed might not still be in the game, but this was my experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope that you guys also enjoy it, and if not, that's also totally fine. I'm gonna head out. Thank you very much for watching the video. Let me know what you think about Cyberpunk. Like, the game itself, not the company. We all know the company fucked up. But the game itself is actually good. So let me know what you think. Drop a like if you would like. Yes. Subscribe if you want. And I will see you guys in the next video. All of my links and stuff are in the description below. Goodbye.